When your enemy tells you what they're going to do to you, then the least you can do is listen to them. I don't know when it became the new norm that your enemy is repeatedly telling you, an enemy, not just an ordinary enemy, not an enemy that's just emerged out of nowhere, an enemy who's been your adversary for centuries, and then they're telling you what they're going to do to you, then you don't listen to them. You just keep ignoring it, despite you start seeing how your society is falling apart. I've shown you what's happening in the UK, Paris. Recently, there were riots in Paris. Just yesterday, there were riots in Belgium, Brussels. It's happening everywhere, all over the world. And they're telling you what they're going to do to you. The most effective way for communication is to listen. I mean, then you can work out whether someone is lying or they're not lying. Do their words meet their actions or not? That's secondary. But the first thing is you listen to what your enemy is doing. You listen to what your enemy is telling you. Like this. There are literally thousands of these videos, okay? Literally thousands of these videos. And I'm not even regurgitating my videos, okay? These videos keep coming out every week in abundance. Listen to this woman.
To the Western leaders, your time is up. Your borders are fading.
Borders are fading. They know. They know. What do they mean by your borders are fading? This is what they mean by your borders are fading. This was Paris. It's not the Parisians who are doing this. Look at this. Look at all the Parisians. Your borders are fading. These people they're here. They're not going to come. They're here. They're inside the borders. They're inside your borders. They're in your countries. And still, while this is happening, we still have people who are not seeing this. You've got your enemies telling you what they're going to do to you. They're telling you what they're doing. You're seeing their plans materialize in real time in front of you. And you still have people who are saying, nothing's wrong, far-right bigotry, Tommy Robinson is the problem. You can't make this up. Sorry, that's what she's saying. Let's carry on.
Your disease is being sucked out, and the unity of the Islamic Brotherhood is taking form. The sons of Islam have already pledged that this battle is a battle of either victory or martyrdom.
They're coming to fight you till death. We are one step away from, oh my goodness.
We reject your flags, and the call for jihad has started, and it won't be long before it is you.
She's not saying that in Mogadishu. She's not saying that in Islamabad. This is how brazen they are. She's saying that in Denmark, Copenhagen. I can say it. Can you imagine a Nazi stand in the middle of London at Piccadilly Circus or Times Square in the early 1940s and say, well, actually before 1933, and say, this is what we're going to do. This is what's coming. We're going to come and we're going to do this. Can you imagine that happen? No. British and American patriots would have just... But
that will
it's happening in today's West.
Be feasted upon.
You know, if you are a Christian or a Jew or an Hindu or an atheist...
Ooh, me too.
If you believe anything other than Islam, that warning is for you. I mean, they're not trying to hide it. You know, they're making it very clear. They are coming for you. They are uniting. And they want to, that's their goal. They want to spread Islam all throughout the world. They want the world to have one religion, and that is the religion of the devil.
Religion of peace.
They have told us numerous times they will either offer you to convert, or they will demand you to pay jizya, tax, or they'll kill you. Those are the three options with these people, okay? There's no
two ways about it. And that's why I always stand by the Jews, because they know what they're dealing with. We all have to, whether you're an atheist, Christian, or a Jew, or a Hindu, we all have to unite against this impending doom. And what do? This is what Western parents are doing. They're sending their kids to these Islamist propaganda events where they go and pray. Don't do that to your kids. Don't do that to your kids. Look at this. Be like that kid. He didn't go down. Even the freaking teacher, look at it, look at the teacher, even he went down. These shameless people, shameless. Look at them. Just listen to them.
The methodology of the Prophet, you're going to be labeled as an extremist, as a fundamentalist, as a terrorist. Why? Because Islam, it came to terrorize the society, it came to terrorize the thoughts and the ideas of the falsehood. Otherwise, what makes our religion the truth? If Islam is the truth, then it must come into conflict. There must be a clash of civilizations, a clash of ideologies.
There has to be a clash. It's not even an issue of peaceful evolution. Like, let's just say slowly white people wither out, Christians and atheists and secularists just die out, and they wait for us to die out because they have a faster breeding rate. And then, you know, by 2130, the whole of Europe is Muslim. You know, like it happened gradually. No, that's not how it's going to go. There's going to be a conflict. There's going to be a clash. Kind of like what Karl Marx said about communism. There is no peaceful transition from capitalism to socialism. There just isn't. There has to be a revolution. As we're finding out, these socialist Democrats, they run our countries to the ground. They keep using other people's money. They kill innovation. They kill productivity. They kill new ways of expanding your economy or growing your GDP. So look at the UK. Look at what's happening to Europe. It's inevitable. They eventually run out of other people's money, and then capitalists wake up and they're going to say, what the hell you've done? If our democracy stays intact, it's the same with Islam. There's not going to be a peaceful transition. It's just there will come a point when you'll have to rise up and there will be a conflict. And I don't know we don't know when that's going to happen. I have a very good video for you. Just I'll play that to you. He'll lay out a good timeline for you.
Between Islam and anything which is non-Islam, be it secularism, be it democracy, be it freedom. The two can never coexist, and that's what the British government, they realize that now, and that's why their budget is something like 150 million now, just on the prevent scheme. You talk about just terrorism alone, MI6, MI5, GCHQ, their budget goes up to about 650 million pounds a year.
So we need...
Did you hear that? This is the British government is realizing that. This is probably an old clip. That's when the British establishment was still trying to fight back just a little bit. So they were increasing these counterterrorism organizations' budgets. But then the woke mind virus struck. So what they did, they said, oh, we need to find some balance. Let's start putting some far-right people in that too. And ever since then, the share of extremists, the share of Muslim extremists has been dropping. It used to be 90% all extremists on the UK's terror watch list were Muslims. Now that share has come down to 70%. And who have they replaced it with? They've added some new categories like cultural nationalism, meaning we want to have British values at the forefront of our policies. We want to bring back, we want to put British values at the forefront of everything. So that is a form of extremism too. So that's how they brought down the share. So the point is, even if the British establishment or the British government as an institute or the British state was fighting back, that there is no fight back. The fight back is withering away. Look at them.
To have that terror struck into the heart, because the dominance has to be, casted.
Yeah,
You're not going to just have dominance. It has to be casted.
Another.
Yeah, this guy is a Pakistani. He's not even taking that. Well, actually, he's growing in popularity in Pakistan because of his extremist views. And he's sitting with this guy. He's saying, white people are not gonna hand over the keys to you. You're going to have to fight for it. That's what they're preparing them for.
Dominance. It has to be casted.
Another, of course, tradition in the same Sahih, which is Sahih Bukhari. It says, Allah's Apostle says, I have been made victorious with terror.
If you look in chapter 8, verse 60, he said, prepare as much as you can steeds of war to terrorize the enemy. So terrorizing the enemy is in fact part of Islam. I mean, this is something that we must embrace and understand as far as the jurisprudence of jihad is concerned.
He's right. These guys are not making it up. They're 100%. Any person, look at them. They've all got beards. They all are well-read people. You don't go to Bushra Sheikh for lessons on Islam. You don't. You go to these scholars, they know what they're talking about. I have studied Islam, and I'm telling you 100% they're spot on.
I was given victory by
Terror.
terror.
When you fear Allah, other people fear you. The Quran is very clear. Strike terror into the hearts of your enemies and Allah's enemies.
They're doing that. They're coming. And in the meantime, what are we doing? What are the Westerners doing? These woke clowns are doing? They're sending their kids to their mosques. Absolutely pathetic. But anyway, I said I'll play you this video. Listen to this.
From what I can gather, it's kind of a 100-year plan, and
Correct.
we're 50 years in.
Correct.
And how are they doing? What are some of the points they've hit?
Well, think about it. If we take a step back, Qatar is a country. It's a tiny country in the Middle East. It has less than 350,000 citizens.
Oh.
Tiny country.
Yeah.
Qatar is giving more money to British education, to Canadian education, higher education, to American universities than any country in the world. So why would this tiny, wealthy country give so much money to Western democratic universities? And it's to use soft power to influence it. And the Qataris have a bay'ah. In Islam, a bay'ah is a spiritual oath to the Muslim Brotherhood. The royal family of Qatar follows all of the religious edicts, rulings, and fatwas of the Muslim Brotherhood.
And I'm going to say that because a lot of conservatives listen to me, a lot of conservative Republican Americans listen to me, which is why it irks me, it angers me, the way Trump is so soft with the Qataris. Qatar, I'm sorry, they are one of the most dangerous countries. They literally have been financing, they've been bankrolling anti-Western sentiment in our universities. All these woke lunatics that you see at university campuses, they're all infected by Qatari dollars. Billions, they've poured billions into our universities, both the UK and the US. In Oxford, Cambridge, they have put in billions of dollars, which is nothing for them, really. It's peanuts for them. What a genius idea. You got to admire. Why send armies when you can just infiltrate the mind of our youth and then watch chaos unfold? This is why I support Israel, because I know that Israelis understand who they're dealing with, what they're dealing with. This is why it irks me, it angers me, it frustrates me when I see conservative Americans who traditionally used to be, well, there still are, the vast majority of conservative American Republicans, they support the state of Israel. But there's a new woke right, like this Candace Owens and all these people who hate Israel. And just because they're blinded by their hatred for Israel, they're taking their eye off the ball, which is Qatar, which is the Muslim Brotherhood, Egypt. These people are our civilizational enemies, okay? That it didn't happen. It's nothing new, okay? This is not a Republican or a Democrat or the US and the Middle East issue. It's the whole Western civilization versus Islamic civilization issue. That's what it is. When you look at it from that perspective, then it makes sense that, okay, who are our adversaries? Saudi Arabia and the UAE these days, especially the UAE, the more westernized they get, the more they come to, more of our interests start to align. But Qatar had a golden opportunity to become westernized, but they said, no, it's a tiny country. They have, I think per capita is the richest country in the world. They have, I think it's like the per capita, GDP per capita is something like 150,000 US, so $10-15 billion, which is a lot, as they have proven. It's nothing for them. It's a lot. If you want to shake up the foundational values of the world's most powerful country, the United States, then $10 billion is nothing. Put some of these billions in Columbia and Harvard, and that's it. You don't even have to go to every university. It just has to go to some of your universities. That's it, and you're done.
They basically represent the brotherhood around the world. And we estimate that the Qataris are using up to $1 trillion in assets to use as soft power to buy favor in universities, in our media, in our political leaders, to further their goals and their agenda. So Qatar is at the forefront of basically representing the interests of the Brotherhood, which is basically to destroy democratic countries. So they're giving all this...
It's basically to destroy Western civilization, not just democratic countries that they couldn't care less about. Pakistan and Bangladesh, which are technically democratic. Western civilization, that's the key. That's what they want to destroy.
Naively, many people think they're benevolent and they're doing wonderful work in funding our universities. But essentially, they're changing the discourse in the West. So if we take a step back, Hamas, which is the Palestinian chapter of the Muslim Brotherhood, intent on destroying Israel and Western democratic countries. Hamas, which is anti-Semitic, but let's put that aside for a moment.
Let's put that aside. Forget about the Jews. Just like I say, if you want to stop Russia, then we need to arm the Ukrainians. If we don't want our young boys to get bogged down in a war with Russia, then arm the Ukrainians, give them whatever they need. As Churchill said during World War II, give us the tools, we'll finish the job. Just like that, give the Ukrainians, give them the tools and they will finish the job. That means that the Baltic, the Estonians, the Latvians, the Poles, they don't have to go to war with Russia. Just like that, if you want to keep this enemy at bay, the Islamists, the jihadis who have aspirations to take over the West, as they keep telling you every single day, then Israel, we need to preserve Israel. This is bigger than just looking after those Jews, like these woke rights who just hate Israel, Israel derangement syndrome. This is bigger than just Israel. It is in our interest. By our, I mean, it's in the interest of the West, of Western civilization. It is in our interest that Israel maintains its position. This is the reason why for the longest time, for 78 years, the West has defended Israel. Why are we changing our tune now? Why? Something's changed. We have become more receptive to the Muslim narrative or their talking points, which shouldn't be the case because their end goal is always different. This is suicidal. This is why we say gays for Gaza. Why do you support Gaza? Because if Israel becomes Gaza, then all homosexuals will be thrown off from the rooftops. You will be creating essentially a second Afghanistan, the Taliban's Afghanistan. Why? But they don't want to listen. Just like that, all these woke right people, yeah, fair enough, America's too big. But that's the first step. That's the first step. They can't see that because they just are suffering from Israel derangement syndrome. They hate the Jews. They hate Israel, whatever. They would get in bed with the Islamists. So the woke right, they're not that far off gays for Gaza people.
They're anti-democratic. They're sexist. They want to subjugate women, murder gay people, and do away with religious minority rights around the world. Hamas murdered American citizens and British citizens on October the 7th. They kidnapped them. And amazingly, some of the best universities, the Ivy Leagues in the United States, Oxbridge in the United Kingdom, the University of London, are turning out some of the brightest, best educated young people, young citizens of democracies, and they're supporting Hamas. They're supporting anti-democratic, vulgar terrorists who adhere to a culture of death, who want to destroy democracy, who want to destroy Britain and France and Italy and Germany and Canada and Australia and the United States. And young people are being inculcated in this sort of red-green alliance of the radical left, which has dominated many of our best universities. And because the radical left wants to get rid of Western hegemony, the Islamists who want to destroy Western hegemony have this bizarre common cause. We call it the Red-Green Alliance. So our intellectuals, influenced by Muslim Brotherhood money, are teaching now the second generation of Western citizens to destroy their own country, their own culture. And it's
mind-boggling. Well, you got to say, well done to the Islamists. Well done. I mean, they knew they couldn't destroy the West militarily. They said, wait a second, let us try something else. It's genius, evil genius, and pathetic too. Pathetic on our part.